Hi Year 6, welcome back. Sorry for the new video, but here we go. So continuing on. So here is a waggle by the end of today what your work might look like. So this is what the best scientists will have in their books. So you can see on the fair left hand page you've got your date, learning objective and your definition. At the end you might have some time left, so I chose to draw some different types of microorganisms. And then the next few pages will be each step of our investigation. Okay, and I'm going to talk you through these now. So on the next clean page in your book, so you should be on your right hand page, I want you to put the investigation title. So we're going to be looking at, or I've called mine, the mouldy bread experiment. And as a year 6 writer, I've put a subheading as well. I've put the mystery of mould. I thought this would be really nice and intrigue the reader to want to know about my experiment a bit more. Then you're going to put an explanation about what you are going to do. You need to tell the reader what your investigation aims to do. So let me pop this out of the way. So in this experiment, I am going to investigate the conditions needed for the microorganism mould to grow successfully. I am going to use bread as a vehicle for the mould to grow, and I will investigate the variables that may or may not affect its growth. Okay, so in your books, please put me a title and then tell the reader what you are going to investigate. So pause this video and do that now, Year 6, and then we will move on to the next page. Super. So next we're going to list the equipment that we're going to need. If the reader was doing this experiment, they would need to know all of this in lots of detail. Okay, so I'm going to put equipment needed with a colon, and I'm going to follow this with a bullet pointed list. Okay, the best writers will make it really explicit what we need. Okay, so 2 slices of bread. We could even add here any bread will do. 2 plastic bags, preferably clear bags, so that we can see through them to make our observations. Let's just check this spelling. Preferably clear. We're going to need water, if water is our chosen variable. We're going to need our sticky labels, pens, and a camera, which is optional to record any progress. Okay? Any bread will do. So, pause this video and add your list of equipment next in your books. Remember to go back to the waggle if you want to see what mine looks like. Done that? Super. So now you need to decide on your variables. So what are you going to keep the same and what is going to be different for your 2 slices of bread? So, are you going to keep one in daylight and one in darkness? Are you going to keep one cold and one warm? Are you going to keep one damp and one dry? Okay, so you're not going to do all of these. You just need to choose which one you are going to observe over time. So for this experiment, for my write-up, I'm going to say I'm going to dampen 1 slice of bread and keep the other one dry. Okay, I'm going to add they will both stay in the kitchen cupboard or on the kitchen worktops on the windowsill. So I'm going to add the details so the reader knows exactly where I am keeping my 2 slices of bread. Pause this and decide and write your variable down now. Okay, now this is the really important bit. As scientists, you need to make predictions about what you think is going to happen. So depending on the variable you chose, you are going to have to think about what's going to happen and why, which is really important. So using previous knowledge you have of mould, why do you think this will happen? So I have written 2 examples here for you to use as a guide. So example 1, I predict that the bread which has been dampened will grow mould quicker than the dry piece of bread. I predict this because I think microorganisms will use the water as a source of food, just like plants do, and this will allow it to grow. I've also seen mould growing in wet places before, so I think this will be similar. Okay, so I've used my previous knowledge of wet things and dry things and what happens to improve my prediction. Okay. There is also an example of a prediction for darkness and daylight. So if you have chosen that one, you can have a read of this one too. So what I would like you to do now is pause the video, have a read of the examples and make your own prediction in your books, okay? Remember, you're scientists in year 6, so I really want technical vocabulary and a good explanation, okay? Do this now, please. Okay, now scientists, we need to write what we're going to do. Okay, so this needs to be a numbered list, step by step, okay? The best writers will use bullet points, time connectives, commas and full stops. Here's my list. So 1. First, I decided on the variable, so I'm going to change the dampness of my bread. After that, I placed each slice of bread in a Ziploc bag. Next, I added a small amount of water, you don't need to soak it, to one of the slices of bread. Then, I labelled each bag using my sticky labels and pens. Then, I sealed each bag carefully so no air could get inside. Then, I placed the bags side by side on the kitchen worktops. I'm going to record my observations daily in a record table. I am also going to take photographs to support my observation. Okay, so that is the list of what I'm going to do. So what I would like you to do now is pause the video, write down your method and get your slices of bread ready. Okay, so you need to follow your method step by step and get your experiment ready. When you have done that, come back so we can finish up the last few pieces on our investigation. So finally, year 6, you need to draw an observation table ready to record your results in. So here is the observation table you need to draw really neatly with your pencil and ruler in your books. And you are going to observe your pieces of bread over 1 week. Okay, so between today, Monday, and next Monday, you're going to look at your bread every day at the same time. Okay, that's really important. And you're going to write a brief explanation of what it looks like. It doesn't have to be lots of words, it can be single words, so it might just say no changes, nothing's changed. Oh, I can now see the beginning of some small black spots. Okay, so you need to do this every day for both slices of bread. If you choose to photograph your bread as well, take a photograph each day and put the date on it so that you know which slice of bread it is on which day. Okay, and these will look really good in your final report. So now you're all set to finally see what happens. Okay, so just a few things to remember. Record your observations each day at the same time. You only need to write a brief note. If you want to, photograph your bags each day. And after 7 days, throw your bread away. Now, warning, do not open the sealed bags if there is lots of mould on your bread. Mould has something called spores on it, and this is what makes you ill. So they may be harmful, so just throw your bread in the bin. Okay? And then we will write up our results and a conclusion when we return after half term. Okay? So see what happens over the week, keep a really good record, and we will see what happens when we get back. It will be great to hear about all of your experiments. Now, any time left for today's lesson, You can neatly decorate your investigation like the one in my waggle at the beginning. So let's go back. So you can see I've added some pictures of microorganisms. You could have added some more. Here I've put some nice colours around the edge. I've drawn my bread. I could add some more colour to that page. On my prediction, I've put a light bulb. I've put some boxes around my method. I've put some top tips in here to be a bit informal with the reader. I've put, don't forget to tell your mum or dad what you're doing. We don't want them throwing your mouldy bread away. Okay? And then this space here will be used for our conclusion when we come back after half term. So, get on with that now. And I look forward to hearing about your experiments after half term. Okay?